Welcome to the Robin's Nest with glass artist Robin Hoerth. I'm Liv Wessel, and today we're going to be making a sea turtle pendant.
Yes, and it's going to be super sweet. And we're going to make a cute sea turtle, and we're not going to make an ugly sea turtle.
It's hard to not make a cute sea turtle, right?
Oh, well, you know, there's opinions about it in the world, what a cute sea turtle is and what a not cute sea turtle is. I have a very strong opinion about what a cute sea turtle is. It's going to start off ugly, though, so, you know, just know that in your heart. It's going to start off ugly. But we're going to make it beautiful, and it's going to be enchanting. So we're going to gather on a 12mm rod. This is the turtle shell. However big you make this is how big your turtle is going to be, proportionally speaking. This is a pendant. I personally don't like to wear huge pendants. I like little cutie pies. So mine's not going to be giant. Something like this, straight up and down, lightly pressed. You're not pushing hard, you're letting the weight of the rod press. If you press too hard, you'll get like a donut shape on the top of this, and it'll make your future life very difficult. And you would do that just by pressing too hard. Once you've got your press, you're gonna dip it in frit, and using peacock chameleon frit, because I just think it's very pretty. You'll have to dip it a few times to pick it all up. There's not enough hot surface area for you to get it all on one try. But just take your time. Pick it all up, make it pretty. It's not structurally important, but it's important if you want to make something pretty. So once it's all melted in, you can tell it's melted in because it's completely flat and smooth. We are going to punty onto the center. We're going to do a weak punty. This is not a permanent part of my sculpture. So this one is warm, the 12mm. The 8mm is hot. When it's molten, out of the fire, touch straight on. You don't need to mash it on there. It's touching. It's straight enough. Doesn't need to be pretty, just needs to be able to hold on. Let this firm up for a few seconds out of the flame. And then I'm going to flame cut the 12mm rod off. The edge of my fire, you see the edge of the top of my dome. You're slowly going to turn. If it's hard for you to turn, you can flip it back and forth. Either way, when it is molten and gives very little resistance, you're going to pull. You can hold still, it'll separate on its own. Once it's separated, if you have a ton of glass on here, you're more than welcome to rip some off if you want to. You can also just melt it back. Up to you. Depends on how much glass you got on there. I'm gonna rip mine off mostly, just save time. And you want to melt this and turn it so that it's a smooth dome. If you have like a pointed dome, like right now, it'll mess up the optics, and you really can't see your turtle shell very well. So the trick is just getting the whole top hot and turning it. Once it's all hot and glowing and molten, out of the fire, straight up and down. And it's very subtle, but it smooths itself out. So now you can see through it, and oh, it's enchanting. From here, take a gander at it. You're gonna pick where you want your head and your tail to go. For the tail, I'm gonna heat just the bottom half, and I'm mostly gonna focus on this side and this side. And I'm going to use my tweezers, and I'm going to pull out the shell to give myself a tail. See, I'm rocking it back and forth. Out of the fire, grab in the center, slowly pull. Make your tail longer than what you want, because it will shrink. I'm going to flame cut. And this is a really long tail, but like I said, start long. It's easier to make something shorter than it is to make it longer. I'm going to use transparent green for the turtle head and the flippers. You know exactly where your head goes. Your head goes right across from the tail. The turtle project is a really great project to get really good at connections. I'm going to put 5 connections on one shell. You're going to heat your shell, just the edge. You're going to heat your color rod when they're both glowing. Touch in the flame. Out of the flame, tiny pull. Hold still. Cut where your color rod is not glowing. As you're heating up your color rod, if you twist a little bit, it'll heat it up faster. You can also hold still if it's uncomfortable for you to twist the color rod. It'll separate on its own if you just give it a moment. And you'll have this really hideous looking blob on here. This is exactly what we're going for. This really ugly shape. We're going to do all of our connections before we make our connections beautiful. Shell hot, green rod hot, touch, out of the fire, tiny pull, cut. These are the front flippers. You want your front flippers to be about as long as your head, ideally. Pull, hold still. If your flipper sizes are weird, your aim is off. You're either heating too close to where you connected it to your shell, or you're too far away. The glass is going to move where you're aiming. So if I go way over here, you're going to have one super, super strong fin. And if you start pulling right away after you connect it on, you're just going to rip off most of your fin. So pay attention to where your heat is and how you're pulling. The bottom flippers, since they are so small, I will get my shell hot, my rod's hot, push, out of fire, tiny pull, and I heat pretty close to the shell. Because I like tiny back flippers. I think that they're cute. My turtle's not realistic. I know a lot of turtles. There's lots of different species of sea turtles. Some have really long tails, some have really big back flippers and whatnot. Mine's more based off the idea of a sea turtle rather than a realistic sea turtle. And you'll have this really ugly sea turtle, which is what we're going for. Well, some people might think it's cute, but it's wrong.
Look at his long, weird neck.
No, it's bad. So now we're going to flame sculpt. When you're connecting, when you're putting all your flippers and stuff on there, you only care about the proportions and the placement. Future you will make it pretty, which is what I'm going to do now. Heat it so it's a blob, out of the fire, squish. Look at that, it's already looking more turtley. Heat, out of the fire, squish.
Kind of like his arms.
He does look really happy. Like
Looks like he's like waving like he doesn't care.
Well, I forbid it, turtle. For your top flippers, you want to gather them back into balls before you squish them. If you squish them when they're in this oblong shape, it's kind of ugly. In my opinion. I mean, if you like it, go for it. It is art, so it can be whatever you want it to be. But yeah, this is a ball, out of fire, squish. And when I squish, I pull about 1-2 millimeters. The tiny act of pulling strengthens your connection. You don't want to get creases or lines or divots when you're flame working. It'll just create cracks. And I'm moving my turtle around a lot in the fire to make it go where I want it to go. You don't hold still, you kind of move with the glass. When I'm squishing it, it's dripping down towards the ground to help control it. If you're squishing from the top, it's folding over and making your life harder. For the head, do gather it back, but don't squish it. Unless you really like that idea, then go for it. But my turtle will not have a squished flathead. One of my turtle mainly upside down, so my turtle looks up. It makes him look happy, like he's excited to be here. However you hold your turtle, that's which way it's going to fall. So this is what it looks like now. Now that my proportions are looking pretty good. At this point, if you had a really big flipper or a really small flipper, go ahead and fix that. Either add or remove glass. Mine's looking pretty fresh to death, so I'm not going to do anything about it. Now we're going to sculpt the flippers. I'm heating the top and bottom of the flipper. I have my glass in my hand. Once I see the glass start to be malleable, out of the fire, tag, pull up towards the ceiling, and then arc down. And I usually turn the turtle in my hand, and because your attachment rod was cold, it pops right off. And that's how you're going to shape your nice flippers. Wherever the glass is hot, that's what's going to move, that's what's going to pull. So pay attention to where your glass is getting hot. Out of fire, tag, towards the ceiling, slowly, and I turn the turtle. And this is what it looks like now. From here, I'll pick my favorite flipper and I'll kind of just match. Ideally, I'm not necessarily going for symmetry. I kind of like when one's up and one's down. I don't know, he kind of looks like he's swimming. But it's your turtle, it's your art. You can make it look like whatever you'd like. If you like symmetry, go for symmetry. It's your sculpture at the end of the day. There's not really a right or wrong. It's just, what are you going for? So this is my turtle so far. I don't point the back flippers. It's a personal choice. I just don't think it's cute. And then for the head, I'm going to actually shape the head a little bit. I'm going to heat the top out of the fire, press, and I'm going to press each side of the face as well to give him planes of the face. And then I'll put his little eyeballs on. When I'm doing eyeballs, turtle's out of the fire. Just the tip of my black glass is getting hot. Come out above and push, pull, flip. Push, pull. Make sure you like it. Make sure they're not crazy looking. And you'll melt your eyeballs in. An extra little step you can do to make your eyeballs really fancy. These are hollow brass tubes. Get your eyeball hot. Out of the fire. Press. This little press, this little detail, makes your turtle look fancy. And just make sure you like him. If you don't like him, rip off his face and try it again. When you're using tools, you only have a couple seconds to get in there to get after it. So it's not about being perfect on your first try, it's about keep trying until it looks good. And then now that I have my face, I'm going to turn the head. I'm going to heat where my neck meets my shell. I'm going to puntee onto the snoot. And I'll pull up and over. And now he's looking around. And for me, that just makes it a much more cuter turtle. And then because I did add stress by tugging it, I'm going to remove any stress I have there by getting it hot. For the hook, if you want to put a hook on there, I put the hook underneath the chin. You could leave this as a little sculpture. He looks very cute just hanging out. But for me, he's a pendant. And he's a little bit bigger than what I usually make. But someone out there wants a bigger sea turtle, I guess. You're going to seal your glass onto the base of the neck. You're going to get your rod hot. When it's molten, pull out of the fire. Pulling out of the fire just gives you more control. I'm going to flame cut. Once I have my little piece of glass, bend it down to touch. Once it's touched, seal. Force that connection. Once you force the connection, have your tungsten pick in hand. And then you're going to round it out, make it pretty, make it strong. First comes strength, and then comes beauty. You have the most beautiful hook, but if it breaks, it's garbage. So prioritize strength over beauty. Also, no one's really going to see it. So this is my sea turtle. I'm going to thread my tweezers through my hook, and I'm going to tap. Because it was a bad puntee, he pops right off. And because my connections are all perfect, I don't have to worry about any cracking. If your flippers are cracking and falling apart, your connections are bad. So work on that. You need more fire. Now that my puntee's off, I'm just going to flame polish it so it's nice and flat and smooth. Mainly just by superheating it. I have the clear puntee in my hand still. I'm going to lay my turtle down on the slab with the hook hanging off, and I'll press down with my glass to force it to be flat. It makes sure your bottom is flat, and it's also just faster to seal something. Then from here, he'll go into the kiln. He'll be a nice little turtle.
Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. It really does help to support us. You can also find more of Robin's work at robin-glass-studios.com.